The story begins in a fantastical world, where humans and magical creatures both inhabit different regions of the planet. Deep inside a lush forest, where dozens of magical beast species thrive and coexist, a young mother dragon descends into her cave. After laying on her egg for the whole night, it's time for her to hunt for food, so she covers her egg with dirt. However, just the soil alone is not enough to ease the mother dragon's worries, so she blasts the dirt with red-hot flames, keeping the ground warm while she is away. Once she's satisfied, she leaves the cave and flies out into the sky, searching for prey. As the dragon's gaze lands on a pair of wolves, she swoops in to capture them. Suddenly, she gets shot by an arrow straight to the head, hunted by a group of humans hidden in the bushes on the ground. After the mother dragon dies, they move in to collect her hide and meat. Sometime later, a pregnant creature called a cat sith wanders into the same cave where the dragon sheltered her egg. Compared to normal cats, the cat siths are an intelligent race that can think smartly and use magic. As this mother cat notices the cave's peaceful environment, she settles inside to give birth. A short while later, her kittens are born, and the warmth of their lively bodies seeps into the egg buried underneath the ground. This causes the baby dragon to finally hatch from its shell, and the tiny creature pokes its confused head out of the ground. Concerned, the mother cat immediately notices and pulls out the baby dragon. Exposed to the cold air of the cave, the tiny dragon starts shivering. Seeing this, the mother cat sniffs its body a few times, and she decides that it's a completely harmless creature. Then, with a heart full of compassion, she allows the dragon to nurse from her with her own babies. Since magical creatures aren't limited by normal boundaries, it's normal for them to sometimes raise children from other species. Watching the baby dragon snuggle with her children, the mother cat wonders just what kind of fantastical beast it will grow up to become. A few days later, once the babies are able to move around, the mother cat starts teaching them to hunt. She shows them how to stalk the prey from a hiding spot and how to ambush them successfully. Aside from physical hunting, the mother cat also teaches her children how to use lightning magic, since cat siths are capable of using magic spells. The baby dragon tries to copy its siblings, but it's unable to cast the lightning spell due to the difference in their talents. Then, it flaps its small wings to lift its own body off the ground, which leaves everyone impressed. Instead of lightning bolts, the baby dragon tries to use a fireball, which sadly misfires and blows it away instead. Still, the dragon quickly recovers from its failure after some encouragement from its mom and siblings. Suddenly, the mother cat detects a hostile presence nearby, and she orders all her children to remain silent. Although the kids obey, they quietly ask her why she's so afraid of these new creatures. The mom cat explains that these creatures are humans who come from a nearby kingdom. Since the forest houses plenty of weak monster species, these humans have named it the Novice Forest, and they send their beginners here to gain experience. After finishing her explanation, the mother cat warns her babies that humans can either be very kind or very cruel, depending on the individual. Also, she tells them that humans can be powerful enough to kill giant bears, and they also hunt the cat siths as prey for materials. Since these humans are so dangerous, she warns her kittens to avoid them at all costs. Hearing her stern warning, all the kids memorize the scent of humans and make a mental note to avoid them in the future. A few days later, a bright purple glow erupts from the forest, coming from a sudden summoning circle. The target of this summoning is the mother cat, who realizes that the nearby humans are trying to summon her. As the kids watch in confusion, she realizes this is goodbye. She begins to gently guide them with her last words, reminding her children to stick together if they ever face danger in the forest. Although she is confident they can survive with their own skills, she informs her children that she has had many other offspring in the forest who will readily help them if they ever need it. Then, after wishing all of her children a long, healthy life, the mother cat finally disappears and the summoning circle closes in front of the devastated children. Years later, after the cats have grown up, they leave their original cave to venture out and begin their lives as adults. Only the baby dragon, who has now grown into a handsome beast, stays behind in the place where his mother first raised him. Although the dragon can survive on his own, he feels lonely without the company of his siblings, who have been with him all these years. After some time, one of the dragon's cat sisters returns home with her husband. She introduces him to her dragon brother, who happily welcomes them both into the cave. Later, the sister cat gives birth to her kittens, and the dragon takes it upon himself to raise them. He teaches them all to hide and hunt mice just like a cat, and warns them to stay away from humans anytime they see them. The little kittens agree and accept all of their uncle's lessons, and once they grow up as well, they all leave the cave to begin their lives in the forest. Sometime later, a strange female cat walks over to the dragon's cave. Although she is a new cat, the dragon recognizes the scent of one of his brothers on her. It turns out that this female cat is one of his brother's daughters and needs shelter as she is heavily pregnant. She explains to the dragon that her father had told her to seek refuge with her uncle if she ever needed it, which is why she is now visiting him. Hearing that his siblings still remember and trust him while living their lives far away in the forest, the dragon tears up with joy, and he immediately allows the young cat to rest in his cave. Over the years, the dragon continues to grow bigger and stronger, and he gains the ability to converse with natural spirits. During one of their chats, he finally learns that he's actually a different species from the cat Siths. The disappointed dragon explains this to his cat relatives, but none of them care. Instead, they smile at him just like before, so he forgets his worries and continues to teach them. One day, as the dragon peacefully flies over the forest, he spots some humans with a massive pile of dead cats, hunted for nothing but their pelts. The dragon bursts into a rage and burns the humans alive. After destroying the humans, the dragon asks the spirits if they hunt cats for food. They explain that humans only hunt cats for their fur, which causes the dragon to get even angrier, since he thinks a creature should not be killed unless it's for food or survival. In his childhood, the dragon was too weak to protect everyone. Now, things are different, as he holds the immense power of a dragon's body, alongside the destructive capabilities of spirit magic. The dragon decides it's had enough of the humans' cruelty, and it flies over to the nearest kingdom to warn them. As the humans notice the giant dragon in their land, he announces in a dominant tone that he has killed the adventurers who murdered the innocent cats. He warns the rest of the humans that they will suffer the same fate if they don't stop attacking the cats without reason, but the humans refuse to listen to his words. Instead, they call all their mages and attack the dragon with lightning spells. Because humans cannot use pure spirit magic, their spells are incredibly weak and ineffective against the powerful dragon. The dragon grows furious at their rebellion, and he starts burning the entire kingdom with his flames. In his rage, he thinks that all humans deserve to die, but then he spots the weak commoners, as well as an innocent young girl crying helplessly on the ground. The girl also has a pet cat, who bravely tries to defend her from the dragon. Seeing one of his own relatives so close to a human, the dragon's heart is moved, and he decides to forgive them for the sake of their kind people. However, he does not leave them without a warning, saying that if the humans kill another cat without the need for food or self-defense, he will follow up on his previous punishments. Years after the dragon rampage, a new prince has grown up in the human kingdom. Unfortunately, this prince has a pitiful magic talent, so the entire royal family is worried for his future. The prince himself knows about his shortcomings, so he sneaks out of his room at night, trying to practice magic on his own. After he fails multiple attempts, a cat appears by his side. The prince looks towards the cat, who gives him comfort at this tough moment. Then, he tries again, and this time, he successfully burns a leaf with the power of his magic. The prince celebrates his victory, but he notices that the cat is also cheering. Since cats are not allowed in the palace, the prince figures that this cat snuck in here at night. However, he also knows that the kingdom is supposed to leave all cats alone and return them to the forest to avoid the dragon's anger. He asks the cat if it can find its way back to the forest, so it nods and leaves. The next night, the prince sneaks out again, wondering if the cat will show up as well. Though he's disappointed at first, the prince quickly finds the cat waiting for him. From that day, the cat starts supporting him in his magic learning journey, to the point where the prince learns how to talk with it. One day, as the prince shares food with the cat, an elder from the palace quietly watches them from a distance. He reports it to the king, who immediately summons the prince for a chat. After making sure that the prince is not mistreating the cat, the king allows him to remain friends with it, thinking that the dragon won't get mad without a reason. Before the elder can voice his protest, an alert startles everyone as the legendary dragon appears once more in the kingdom. The terrified people wonder if their end has come, but the dragon only sits and looks around for a certain someone. Soon, the cat walks out of the palace and begins talking with the dragon. It tells the dragon that it wants to teach magic to the young prince, but he refuses, thinking it's too dangerous to hand over over such a powerful magic to the unpredictable human race. However, the cat reassures him that the prince is his friend, and soon enough, the young boy runs out to meet the dragon. As the cat introduces the prince to him, the dragon recalls the familiar scene of the small cat protecting a young girl all those years ago. This softens his heart, so he agrees to discuss things with the human king. The cat smiles and thanks him, and soon, he uses a shape-shifting magic to achieve a cat form as well. In his cat form, the dragon walks into the king's chambers. The king humbly greets him as the imperial dragon, and the dragon grudgingly admits that the little prince has somehow won over his cat relative, since the cat wants to teach him magic. The dragon offers to let him stay as long as the king agrees. Hearing this, the king is shocked, since the magic used by the dragon is the strongest and most secret magic in the world. However, the dragon doesn't care for it nearly as much, explaining that anyone can learn it by talking to natural spirits. Still, the king knows that spirit magic is powerful enough to literally change the world's power balance in his kingdom's favor. He begins to thank the imperial dragon in a respectful manner, but the dragon thinks he's being too pretentious, and instead tells him to call it the cat dragon. Hearing this, the king smiles and quickly agrees. From that day, the young prince learns the secret spirit magic from the forest cat, and he passes it forward to other humans. As the years go by, whenever a king has a child, the forest cats visit the castle to befriend the new prince and teach him magic. In time, humans begin protecting the forest cats, while the cats continue sharing their precious magic with them in return. Meanwhile, the dragon continues to live in his old home, teaching magic to his descendants in the same protective way he has done all these years. While the dragon story had been going on, the mother cat was facing a challenge of her own after getting summoned by the humans. Unaware of all the dangers her children would experience, she gets summoned by a young magic student called Anne Rasa. As the confused cat appears from her magic circle, the little girl gets terrified, hoping that she won't get attacked. Her teacher is pleasantly surprised, and he tells Anne to show the mother cat around while he handles the other students. Clearly, the terrified girl doesn't want to be alone with a strange beast, but she accepts her teacher's instructions anyway. After the mother cat follows Anne to a private room, she learns that she was summoned as her familiar. Usually, it takes mages at least a few days to summon a monster, so Anne feels scared that she did something wrong by summoning one in a short time. Watching her nervous expressions, the mother cat notes that this young girl is extremely insecure despite being talented. Her heart melts at the sight of her cute face, and she decides to raise her as another one of her own children. In any case, her other children have become adults, so she doesn't mind leaving them in the forest for a while. She asks Anne for her name, and the girl responds without thinking. Realizing that the cat just spoke to her, she passes out from shock. Afterward, Anne takes the rest of her classes at school before following the mother cat for magic practice. She takes the girl to a training ground to demonstrate her magic abilities. Anne obeys and uses an ice shard spell, but her wand only produces a tiny ice pellet. Still, she feels proud that she successfully used an attack. Unfortunately, the mother cat thinks she just made her a snack, so she starts chewing on the ice. Seeing her hard work treated like a toy, Anne starts blushing beet red from embarrassment. The mother cat finally realizes how much guidance she needs, so she demonstrates a lightning spell to help her learn. Anne doesn't feel confident since she has never used a lightning spell before. To help her, the mother cat uses the spell a few more times. Anne takes note of her technique, and then she focuses hard. To her surprise, her wand actually produces a small spark. While she's overjoyed by her success, the mother cat explains that she can increase her power by chanting the spell's name. She takes her advice and chants the spell's name, which creates a powerful lightning bolt that shoots into the training wall. The happiness from this achievement causes Anne to tear up in joy. Unfortunately, happiness is often short-lived, so she has to wake up early the next day to practice again. Every day, the mother cat forces Anne to use her spells again and again. She does this because mana is like stamina, so a person can increase their mana by depleting it with spells and letting it recover gradually. After a while of training the lightning spell, the mother cat asks Anne to try her ice spell again. She tries, but fails miserably again, so the mother cat tells her she's got a long way to go. At lunch, Anne's classmates are shocked to see her eat like she's been starving. In the past, the timid girl never ate more than a few bites, but now she needs the energy to replenish her depleted mana. In class, the mother cat joins Anne, so a student asks the professor professor if she's allowed to be there. The professor explains that he's given the cat special permission to stay, since she's well behaved and helps him with monster research. A girl behind Anne praises her talented familiar, and she admits that the mother cat is truly special. Afterward, the students head out for physical training, so the mother cat leaves the school to hunt. Although there are no common rats in the area, she finds a magic species called gem rats. The gems on these rats' foreheads contain concentrated mana, which makes a great snack for the cat. Later, after Anne comes back from her classes, the mother cat makes her train her magic again. Exhausted from her classes, the poor girl is unable to concentrate at all, so the mother cat tells her to go home and rest. Later that night, she helps Anne's professor with his monster research. He asks her how long the cat siths raise their young, so she admits that they wean off their kids much earlier than other monsters. Hearing this, the professor is surprised, so the mother cat explains that she has raised other monster species as well. Among them, she has raised many strange creatures like the winged dragon, which she cannot identify. However, most of the other creatures grew way slower than her cats, so she had to leave them before they had fully grown up. Interested by her stories, the teacher asks where she originally lived, and learns that she's from the Novice Forest. He tells the mother cat that the people of his kingdom are very familiar with the forest, since they use it as a training ground. After a short while, their discussion ends, and the mother cat leaves. The next day, she is forced to take a bath by Anne. For some reason, Anne turns into a wizarding monster in the shower, drowning the poor mother cat in hot water. The mother cat feels depressed. Anne reminds her that it's necessary to stay clean if she wants to keep attending her classes. Aside from magic training, the mother cat also accompanies Anne in the library, where she helps her study magic. Throughout her whole life, she has worked with magic beasts who always required practical care. Now, she feels pleased in the quiet study environment with her human child. A few days later, one of the students fails their summoning ritual, so their portal connects to the netherworld instead. As some hostile nether monsters pop out of the portal, the teachers rush to defeat them. Anne helps in the fight as well, frying the monsters with her newly learned Thunderbolt spell. Suddenly, a menacing demon appears from the portal, its aura far stronger than any of the previous beasts. Staring into the monster's bloodthirsty eyes, the mages start trembling in their boots from fear. All of a sudden, the mother cat starts talking to the demon as if she knows him very well. Realizing that his mom is right in front of him, the demon instantly loses all his aura points. The teachers watch, horrified, as the mother and demon talk like they're a normal family. The demon explains he was worried about her ever since she got summoned away, so he went to the forest to investigate. There, he found his adopted brother, the baby dragon, which left him even more confused. The mother cat asks if her other kids are okay, so the demon nods. He explains that they're still worried without her, but the mother cat thinks they'll do fine on their own. Then, she happily introduces the teachers to her terrifying adopted son. After a carefree introduction, she suggests turning the summoning circle into a dungeon, so the students can practice fighting against demons. The greater demon protests against her decision, saying that it'll be dangerous for the kids. To fix this, the mother cat forces him to be on guard duty so the kids can remain safe at all times. Hearing all her concerns, the demon wonders why she cares so much for the human students. At this, she reveals that she's currently raising Anne as her own child. Feeling pleased with so many children, the mom cat's two tails start wagging from happiness. In the past, she only used to have one tail, so the demon gets shocked that she has mutated into a new form. The mom cat agrees, explaining that her mana has increased after eating so many gem rats. Thinking about it, the demon figures that this mutation has only increased her lifespan, so he accepts it as a blessing. From that day onward, the magic school starts growing at an incredible rate, thanks to the mother cat's teaching and the experiences learnt from the demon dungeon. After several years, the school produces countless great mages, one of whom happens to be Anne herself. Over the years, she gains a reputation as the Froststorm Witch, known for her terrifying icicle and lightning attacks. Eventually, Anne returns to the Magic Academy as a teacher. All of the new students have heard about her reputation, so they curiously watch her in secret. The mother cat has also returned with her. She first heads into the training hall, where she greets the old professor who worked with her. After years of new contributions, the old man has become the principal of the academy. He welcomes the mother cat back home, who thanks her for taking care of the greater demon and his dungeon all this time. Sensing her presence, the greater demon appears below the mother cat in his cat form. The mother cat smiles at him, explaining that she was just coming to visit him in the dungeon. The demon gets angered, since he thinks the dungeon is too dangerous for her. However, the mother cat gets offended and insists that she can handle herself against the demons. She gets angry and starts schooling him in front of the principal, so the embarrassed demon drags her into the dungeon. There, he reminds the mother cat that he's still a feared demon in the human world with a reputation to uphold. Although the mother cat agrees to give him some more respect in public, the demon realizes she isn't serious at all. Afterward, it's time for Anne to give her introductory speech to her new students. Despite having so much experience, she still feels extremely nervous when faced with an audience. As the eager students look forward to her words, the pressure is too much for Anne to take, so she completely chokes on her words. Thankfully, the mother cat appears by her side and reassures the kids that she's a great teacher. She also reveals that she raised Anne as a kid and offers to teach the kids anything her daughter can. After giving Anne a chance to breathe, she asks her to give her speech, so she smiles and finally starts speaking. A few days later, one of Anne's students feels upset after failing an exam. She wonders why she can't pass, so Anne tells her she doesn't have enough mana. This only discourages the poor girl, so Anne explains that her own mana used to be weak as well. However, after regular practice with her spells, she was able to increase her mana to her current capacity. The student takes her advice and heads to magic practice the next day. She feels surprised after seeing Anne and the mother cat waiting for her, and tears up from their support. The student thinks she doesn't deserve so much special attention, but Anne reassures her that she's got what it takes. The mother cat nods, proudly bragging about her accomplishments with Anne. She embarrasses the poor teacher in public, revealing that Anne could only use tiny ice pebbles back in the day. It was only thanks to the mother cat's strict education and training that Anne grew to her current peak. After hearing this, the student gains even more motivation, and she starts working hard. Anytime she gets tired, Anne and the mother cat encourage her to keep training to develop her stamina further. The next day, the student visits the training ground for another training session. However, her secret somehow got out in class, so some other students join her to experience their teacher's private care. After several weeks of intense training, the students revisit the dungeon to attempt their challenge. From the fruits of their hard work, they complete the final level and celebrate their victory. For some reason, the greater demon appeared in front of them as a stone statue, so they wonder why he isn't using their cat form, trying to aura farm as the final boss. The poor demon is left in shambles by their non-serious attitude. He finally shows them his cat form, feeling completely humiliated. Meanwhile, back in school, the principal praises Anne for her great efforts. She smiles, accepting his gratitude, and suggests adopting some new policies to improve their school's learning environment. Anne thinks that the students should start accepting real jobs from guilds as a way of gaining experience, although the principal agrees that the experience will be invaluable for the students. He reminds her that she'll be involving their school with several external organizations. Still, Anne doesn't get discouraged, and she offers to negotiate the deals through the royal court. After the deal is finalized, her school starts officially sending its students away for internships. Since the internships involve real danger, the students are told to use flares to alert their teachers. When the first flare shoots through the sky, Anne is the first one to teleport and rescue her students. Afterward, the students return from their jobs, some of them successful, while the others sulk from failure. Regardless of their results, Anne feels extremely happy. With tears in her eyes, she congratulates everyone for taking their first steps towards becoming adult mages. A year later, it's time for all of the students to graduate, and they leave on a high note, excited for their future. As the years pass, the mother cat accompanies Anne, watching her magic school transform into one of the greatest institutions of the land. That was the second episode. Subscribe to not miss the next part and watch the next video on screen.